If you're enjoying Pigoted Podcast, why not sign up to our Patreon? You can get access to loads of extra stuff. You get access to extra episodes every single week. You get access to giveaways that we do. We've done giveaways on rum, giveaways on NFTs, loads of sponsorship stuff. You get access to the Discord community. You get early access on episodes that are being released. You get to ask questions to our guests. There's loads of extra stuff that you get, and it starts from just £1 a week, £4 a month. Think about it this way. Would you miss an episode of Pigoted if we didn't release one? Yeah? Well, would you miss £1 if it went out of your bank account? No? Well then, get yourself signed up to our Patreon, because by supporting the podcast, you're helping to make it possible. You're helping to pay for all of the recording space and all of the equipment. So please, if you do enjoy the podcast, check out the Patreon. You get loads of extra benefits, and a big thank you from me. Enjoy the podcast. This podcast has been sponsored by Outlier Distillery. They are the makers of the fantastic Hooley Manx White Rum, which is available right now on the Outlier Distillery website for just £34. And there's an extra discount code for everyone that listens to this podcast. Just enter Pigoted at checkout and you get yourself 20% off. Now, this was a company that was actually started in lockdown, and they make some fantastic drinks. I am a huge fan of this Hooley Manx White Rum. As you can see, I've drunk nearly most of it already. It's a really strong flavour, and it goes great in cocktails and daiquiris and rum and cokes. So if you are a big drinker, if you're a fan of alcohol and you like white rum, then get yourself down to Outlier Distillery's website and get your code 20% off by entering Pigoted at checkout. Welcome to Pigoted Podcast. Joining us today is Amanda Victoria. Hi.
Hi.
And comedian Rob Mulholland. Hi.
Hello.
How are you, Rob? Are you all right?
I'm all right, mate.
You've been getting shit off the internet, haven't you?
Yeah, mate. I wound some people up.
I heard that you, I saw that you made a video on spaghetti bolognese, and everyone was saying that you were shit and unfunny and boring.
Yeah, like that was nothing to do with the spag bowl video, though. Unfortunately, it was the mumble rap fans that got annoyed at me. Do you know what mumble rap is?
I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
So if I had to guess, it is a style of rap where enunciation is considered to be the devil.
Yeah, basically, it's like rap, but instead of rapping, they're just sort of like auto-tune going about stuff, like, and you can't really make out the lyrics. It's terrible. I hate it. But like, you know.
So are you doing this an injustice on purpose because you personally don't like it?
Bit of both, yeah. Like, but it is generally, it's quite, fairly maligned amongst a lot of like hip hop fans. It's not like I'm the only one who doesn't like it.
I feel like mumble rap is like a step below stutter rap. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's
a step below Scatman John.
But isn't mumbling an impediment? And isn't rap all about the way that you say it? It was.
Now it's like, and like their argument, it's just about like the sound, the vibe and stuff. And it's like, that's fine, but I don't like it. But basically, like, I do a video series called Rob Reviews Everything. Someone requested that I review mumble rap. So I was like, all right. Yeah. Made this video gently taking the piss out of it, but gave it a positive review because I'm an old white man and I don't understand it, which is a good sign for music. So I gave it a good review.
Oh, don't do this.
I'm a white man, so I'm not allowed to have an opinion.
No. That is very much the opinion of mumble rap fans, but no. They have made that very clear. But no, I was just like, so gently taking the piss out of the way. Anyway, they did not see the funny side of it, and they have been furious for like 2 months now. Some subreddit found it, and like millions of them been on absolutely everything I do commenting because...
Really?
Yeah, mate. Like...
Think of the engagement, baby.
Well, this is it. They've been so furious at me, but like it's massively increased like the views on all my videos, all the comments on everything. YouTube doesn't know if the comments say that they hate me. It just knows that I'm getting loads of comments.
I love the idea that mumble rap fans have been going around their daily lives furious, going...
yeah, but it's all auto-tuned. But yeah, they've just about calmed down, so, it'd be good to stoke them up a bit when this comes out again.
Why do people hate your spag bol video?
No, I don't think there's been any controversy about the spag bol video.
Oh, it's made a spag bol subreddit.
Splash.
Well, we just don't put carrots in it because you can't put carrots in a spag bol.
Okay, so you absolutely 100% do put carrots in a spag bol.
No, you don't.
Yes,
Right.
you do.
No, you don't.
So I actually
fine enough that they cook properly. That's your problem. You don't want a crunchy big.
Yeah, so
big
what you have to
chunk.
do is you have to sweat them off, and a great way to do that is to use a glass of red wine in order to sort of deglaze the pan when you brown the meat. I made a spag bol last night. It's one of my favourite things to make.
It's the best.
But if you're making it properly, there's a very set specific way that like fucking nonnas say that you have to. You know, like Italian grandmother, like, this is how you make a spaghetti bolognese and everything else is wrong.
See, I didn't even know if spaghetti bolognese was like a legit Italian thing, or if it was just like, you know how like all curries are just Indian people going, just make that for rich people.
But bolognese specifically, the
I
shit that you
I
get
know there's
for...
a place called Bologna. I know that's like, like
No, but that's not... Right, so you know the shit that you get in a jar, the dolmio stuff, that is your equivalent of like...
And there's no carrots in there.
It's not bolognese. It's nothing. It's like... It's not. It's red sauce. It's just nothing. That's the equivalent of Indian takeaway chicken korma shit. The proper ones... Well, properly, if you're doing it properly, you should have a third beef mince, a third pork mince, and a third lamb mince. But who can be fucking arsed with that shit?
I do 100% corn mince.
Okay, so immediately no.
So cardboard with tomatoes on it.
Yeah. Well, do you know what as well? Corn mince is a fail in two respects. Number one, it's horrible. But number two, lentils would be a better shout.
Like, they're not, though. Like, no. Like, I might have a bit of, like, beans or lentil or whatever, but, like, corn mince is actually pretty good.
Nah.
The Greg's vegan sausage roll is amazing.
That's corn.
That's absolutely good. I'd eat that over a proper sausage roll in Greg's.
But do you know what is the thing about Greg's is that I don't trust the quality of their meat, and so naturally I don't trust the quality of the non-meat either.
You don't trust the meat. The non-meat's clearly better because it's not going to be like, you're much less likely to get food poisoning.
No, but that's not how my brain works.
Yeah, well, your brain doesn't work.
That's the yeah.
To be honest, I'm really fussy with food. I've said this loads of times before. Really picky in particular.
Not portion size.
There's certain stuff that I just will not eat. I just can't bring myself to fucking...
Fruit, vegetables, salad.
You love this, don't you? Because you go into... It's almost like a call centre script where you go, okay.
There's just a certain point you can be a little in for a fat joke and I'm away.
Yeah, exactly. It's dreadful. Dreadful. Do you know what we're talking about today?
I do, yeah. You messaged me about it.
This is going to be fun, this. So we're talking about... slightly controversial issue, this. Whether or not there are some things that the NHS should not provide for free.
Oh, okay. This was not what you messaged me about. I was on a very different vibe. Okay.
Yeah, we changed it. I can't remember if I told you if I was changing it, but we're going to do more debate-y style stuff.
That's fair. They, to be fair, the NHS did refuse to give me my third penis reduction. They said after the first two, it should be down to a manageable
Mr. Mulholland,
level.
we can't possibly reduce from 1 centimetre below.
We don't have the technology.
There just isn't a microscope strong enough in the world. But yeah, obviously the NHS is something that I think is very... Do you know what's weird? When you talk about the NHS, in any way, people, if you not necessarily slag it off, but if you offer ways for it to be improved, people lose their fucking mind.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, look, don't get me wrong, it's great, but it's not perfect.
I feel like we should start this episode by banging a pan to show that we care, just so we can get that,
Let's all clap. Why not?
Do you remember on like the first time everyone went out?
Because it was genuinely quite moving, the first clap.
There's literally nothing else to do. There's nothing else to do.
It was unprecedented, and it was like this. It felt like this beautiful, spontaneous thing. I got a little bit almost emotional because it was like everyone coming together for this thing.
The second one.
Then when it became clap for key workers, I was like,
I'll do it from me. I'll do it from the sofa.
Third one, clap for kids. Get fucked. You've been
Oh
side
my
playing Fortnite.
God, clap for kids. Was that the one where it was like, they're not going to get a Christmas, their childhood is difficult, we need to go outside and clap them? Like, what child would go, well, that's better than an Xbox, you know?
I'm sure most of them were made up, weren't they? Because they're off school, they're not going, they're not doing anything. Life was like Riley for kids to understand why you needed to clap for them.
Oh,
yeah. Have 6 months off school and be a thick bastard. Hey!
Although,
If you told me when I was 10 I could have a year off to play computer games, I would have been fucking delighted.
although here's the thing though, right, is like, you know when after your 6-week holiday at school, you remember that first week back where it was like, oh dear God, this is the worst thing in the world because you're just not used to it.
Yeah.
Imagine after a year off, you'd be like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Mate, I've had like long bank holiday weekends where I couldn't fancy going back to work afterwards, let alone a year off going back to school.
Well, you know,
sitting in mask all day.
You know, we were talking about the NHS not being perfect. I think that's, you know, we all love it, but it's not perfect. There was a thing that came out this week. I assume that you saw it, Rob. Amanda, you may not have seen it.
I don't follow news.
It is a new thing set up by comedian colleagues.
Oh, God, yeah. Okay.
I've seen your video. I think that's what I've seen your video on it, but I haven't like watched it in the
it's comedians are now available. I can't even say it without laughing. Comedians are available on the NHS to treat trauma patients.
Yeah.
But why is it on the NHS when there's shitloads of it on the internet anyway? So why is it?
That is a fair point. Give them a fucking
Give them
Netflix
free
subscription.
Wi-Fi. Yeah. Let Virgin Media do 12 months free subscription for anyone who's depressed. I tell you what, you'll get it.
Although to be fair, if you are depressed, a Zoom comedy show is not the answer. That's only going to make it fucking worse. I'll tell you.
There was somebody who put.
Like, what is the plan with this? Because I saw the headline, rolled my eyes, and didn't bother reading the story, which I do a lot. So like, is the idea
Comedy course?
Oh, comedy course, right?
No,
okay.
so the idea is
I
that
thought it was going to be like the Seinfeld episode, you know, when he goes to try and cheer someone up who's in hospital and they're in a bed miserable and he's there doing his bits.
No, I have watched one episode of Seinfeld, wasn't keen on it, and then stopped instantly.
Right, that's real dumb. But anyway, I'll talk to you about that at a separate occasion.
Yeah.
But basically that is the point of the episode. Someone's like, oh, you're a comedian, go cheer up this guy who's ill. And he just like, you know, he's miserable because he's ill. Yeah. Right, so it's a comedy course, so it's teaching them to do comedy rather than having
so the
comedy
whole idea,
done to them.
The whole idea is like, listen, I've got lots of trauma because I've just come out of a violent domestic relationship and it's horrible and I can't see the good in anything. But thanks to the 6-week comedy course, I've got a really good 5. You know what I mean?
Now I get to go get gonged off on a Monday night at the Frog and Bucket.
And every time that gong hits, she flinches. She goes, oh, shit.
I don't think you can teach funny. I don't think, like...
There is that.
I think if you're depressed over you've been in a violent relationship, I think the only way you're going to get over that is to either be, one, a sarcastic twat. If you can teach that, like that gets you through things, or have dark humour. To sit there and tell knock-knock jokes or to try and be funny in any other way would not work. It
doesn't channel for me either. I mean, boxing classes, maybe, you know. At least next time you'll be able to fight back.
Well, this is a lot, you know... With stand-up comedy, I don't know if it makes that many people happier.
Well, this is another thing.
How many joyful comedians do you know?
Hey, I know you're struggling with your trauma, but we are going to indoctrinate you into a group of people who are well known for their positive mental health.
Yeah, exactly.
Stand-up comedians.
I think it's when you tell something that makes your life seem better. So, say if you was to stand up and tell like a terrible story about someone, I'd sit there, listen to it, laughing, and go, "Well, at least I'm not them." I think that's where it's more going to make you feel better. I don't think sitting there doing a course teaching someone how to tell a joke is going to get them any more happier than
the whole point behind it as well is that they're going, well, the thing is like it will teach you to laugh at your pain, and it's like. But it won't.
No, you can either do that or you don't. What it'll teach you is to slightly like package those like laughs in a different way.
Rule of 3. That's what it'll teach you.
Move the mic out your way, like that sort of stuff. That's not teaching you how to do that. Like you are right. Like you know, dark humor can like that's how I process everything.
I like
you know,
dark humor.
Yeah.
But you either innately have that or you don't. I think that's just
so.
But you can. what a comedy course can do is like very little, to be honest, but it can sort of teach you just how to stand on stage. It's not really teaching you how to laugh at anything.
So speaking of dark humour, Amanda has one of the darkest senses of humour that I know.
Excellent.
And I think that has been born about due to your personal circumstances.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been a bit like, I can laugh at myself, and, you know, you see someone fall over, you're going to go, but going through what I went through, the only way I got through that was making a joke out of it. It's because there's always, I think the best way is there's always someone worse, so I can sit there and go, yeah, my situation was terrible, but at least I'm not. And that's an awful way to look at life.
But it's a very funny way to look at life.
Yeah. Like, I might have gone through what I gone through, but, you know.
At least I'm not
a
midget.
Yeah.
Because they're never getting better. Fucking hell.
They make money off that. Like, I don't make money off mine.
Only in December.
Nah, you can throw one of them all year round. Don't worry about it.
There's always that stag do money.
So, yeah.
There you go.
So, very quickly, for those of you, those people that don't know what your situation is, what was your situation?
Oh, God. Okay, so 18 years of age, I got a cyst on my chest that I would have had probably all my life, but only grew at 18. I went into hospital constantly trying to see what was going on. No one knew what it was. Wisdom was like, don't know what's going on. I literally couldn't breathe. My mum managed to go toe-to-toe with a fantastic surgeon who I won't name because he's actually shit, and said, something's going on, let's fix it. And luckily enough, Liverpool Heart and Chest doctor was in Wiston at the right time, walked in and said, give me your x-rays.
Or like house?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Just walked in, went, pass me your x-rays. So they put the x-rays on the little light box, and I remember being absolutely off my face on morphine, but I knew exactly what happened. And he stood there and went, what's that?
Hugh Laurie, she's fucked.
Yeah.
So the Wiston doctors were kind of like, it's just like shadowing from an art maybe, or the way we've done the test. And he went, no, it's not. Move her. Within 20 minutes, Liverpool Heart and Chest knew I was coming. There was an ambulance coming to pick me up. They took me from there, told Wiston to basically go fuck themselves. They were taking me. They weren't happy with the care or anything.
Wow.
Yeah, I got transferred straight away, got introduced to my specialist who I've been under now for years. He literally walked in, grabbed my hand and went, we'll save you. And that was it. So I didn't know what was going on. My mum was in tears. My mum didn't know.
You didn't know how serious it was?
Well, like, I couldn't breathe, so I knew something was serious. Like, I was going blue at some point.
You're either very ill or you're Freddie on a normal morning.
But, like, even, like, my mum said, like, all my life, I don't moan. Like, I'll moan about stupid stuff, but if I'm not well, I get on with it. If I'm sick, if I've got a cold, it is what it is. You just carry on. I couldn't, like, literally breathe. I had blue lips. I was in agony. My mum was like, something... Well done. My mum was like, something's definitely wrong. They transferred me, and then they basically put me asleep for a day.
Yeah.
Spoke to my parents, turned around and said, she's got a massive cyst on her windpipe. This needs to go now. We're operating on it tomorrow. They brought in specialist surgeons for me and everything on that day. The operation was about 15 hours long. Removed it. Everything was fantastic. Woke me up and said, a week later, you'd have been dead. Thanks for that, love.
Wow.
So they saved my life, like, literally there and then. Yeah.
But you had one recently, didn't you, where so it wasn't going great, and they gave you, was it a 20% chance?
Yeah, so my cyst kept coming back, and they put in an internal drain. So, because obviously you can only go in so many times, breaking ribs, so they put an internal drain in.
If you were a dog, you'd have been put down so long ago.
God, like, you would not have made the end of the Grand National. There would have been a big cloth and a shotgun.
If I was in the Grand National, I'd have shot myself. Right? I'd have just fake jumped. I'd just do it.
I wanted to just go straight into the fence.
Yeah, no, it was terrible.
The suicidal horses in the Grand National.
Yeah.
I've actually just not been feeling myself recently. Well, don't tell me that now we're about to race.
I don't even think I'd be useful as glue anymore. At this point, I don't even think you could take, like, meat off my leg as a horse and sell it. It's that bad. Yeah. But they put the drain in, everything was going fantastic, and then I had a situation where, obviously I'm not good like good stuff, and then it got damaged, and then it didn't work, so the cyst started to grow. I ended up in hospital for 13 days, and the tear in my windpipe had got worse, and there was a constant hole with constant infections in. They were like, we don't know how we're going to fix it. If we go in to fix it because the drain had been damaged and we knock that drain, you're going to die on the table. We don't know what we're going to do. So you went, just leave it. It sounds awful, but just see if the like hole will close itself. So I had about a year waiting. It didn't. I had constant infections. If I had cough blood up 24/7. Yeah, that's not nice. I was terrified to do anything really.
Yeah.
And then it was the 25th of September. I went in to see them and they went, we can't fix you. They took my situation to Leeds Hospital, specialists everywhere. They'd asked Americans, we've never, because the cyst I had, there's only been 5 people in the UK with it. The type I had, because you can't operate on a windpipe. You can up here, so you can do like trachea.
Okay.
Because mine's further down, you can't. The tissue it's made of, you can't cut into. There's no way to fix it. You can't, whatever. So yeah, 26 December. They said we can't do nothing. Wait to die.
Wait to die.
Yeah.
How old were you at this point?
27.
Shit. So when you
Rock
got
and
to
roll age to go though.
Oh, what?
That is the one. That's when Jim Morrison died. 27 Club, innit? It's when all the
Amy Winehouse.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to live
Jimi
a little bit
Hendrix.
longer.
Yeah. You'd have been very lucky.
I mean,
you would have left
probably,
a beautiful corpse.
Yeah, probably, to be fair.
Oh, Jesus. But yeah, that's gnarly. Like,
yeah, it messes everything up. Like, you contradict yourself so much. You get into this thought process of, okay, so is that, do I just sit here now and just die? Do I wait to die? Do I sit there and fuck you, basically, and carry on? Do I do things that are more dramatic because I think, well, I might as well go out with a bang? You don't know.
And I was talking to Amanda at the time, and I dropped into a conversation casually that there was, save your receipts, because probably not making it till Christmas.
No. Let's put this one straight.
Don't buy a Christmas present with an extended warranty.
No, we were on a live, and he said something like, which was a little bit mean. So I shouted at him and said, "Oh, you're not being on my Christmas card this year, the Christmas card list, sorry." And he replied, "As if you're making it till Christmas." To which I thought, you know what, that was actual comedy gold. So I went and got a jumper made of it.
Amazing.
I got a hoodie made saying, "As if you'll make it till Christmas," and then put on the bottom Freddie Quinn, which got recognised in Liverpool, by the way. Someone came up to me and went, "Is that Freddie Quinn, the comedian?" I said, "He got jumpers." I went, "No, I am not rocking his merch. This is mine." I went, like, this is what he said to me.
What's great as well is that when she had a operation, the 20% you make it, 80% you don't. Wore that.
That's great.
I wore that jumper. I wore the jumper to the operation.
I have a load of nurses in a hospital somewhere who probably think I'm the biggest cunt going.
Yeah, there was a few.
Not just one hospital.
There was a few. No, because a few asked, like, because with Corona and everything, I had to go into that operation on my own. And I had to go in the day before. Got tests done. So I'm sat there for 20. I got dropped off by my dad. I had to sit in a room with all screens around you because you had to be fully quarantined and safe and everything. With the constant thought of, this might be my last day on the planet, and all I'm looking at is plastic, polystyrene, nurses with masks on. They can't even speak to you properly.
Yeah.
It wasn't a nice experience too. But I had the jumper on, and someone asked me.
Who melts.
But do you know what it is as well, though? Is this is one of the reasons that I wanted to definitely bring you on for this. Is obviously you've got like a very unique sort of story about what's happened to you. But with the NHS the way that it is at the moment, and stretched the way that it is, you had a 20% chance of making it.
Yeah.
And you've made it.
Yeah.
That's great. What if you'd have had a 1% chance?
I wouldn't have done it.
I
don't think I should have done it now.
So you don't think you should have done it full stop?
No.
Why?
Because even though this operation was a last-ditch attempt, and it was someone in Leeds who came up with this idea. It wasn't even my surgeon.
Was it LGI?
I have no idea. I don't really, like, when he talked to me, I just kind of...
There is relevance. I had a load of mad medical stuff when I was in the LGI when I was a kid. I'll explain in a bit, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, what did you have wrong with you?
Oh, so I had a benign tumour on my spinal cord when I was a kid. So, so it's not cancer, but similar. So it's not quite as aggressive. But so that happened when I was about 8, and I had just I had a weird pain inside my hip for ages. Didn't know what it was. So it was years, a couple of years of testing and trying to work out what it was. Eventually found this tumour on my spinal cord. Major surgery to get rid of it, and not quite as gnarly as yours. I think I only did about 8 hours. So, amateur bullshit.
So sorry to interrupt. I've known you for 10 years, I have never heard you use the word gnarly twice in 5 minutes.
There's been a lot of gnarly stuff happening today, to be fair.
Right.
It's been like, you know, there's been like, we're talking about a lot of gnarly stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, like, so then I was discharged, recovered from that, and then about a year and a half later, the pain came back. Turned out a microscopic bit of it had been missed. It had grown back.
Yeah.
The second time I went in for that surgery, like the first time they sort of kept things away from me. I didn't really know what was going on. But the second time, firstly, I knew what was going to happen and how horrible the recovery was going to be and all that. But the doctor as well, like I had a different doctor come around to my normal surgeon to explain like the risks. And the previous surgery, he'd done it when I wasn't there. Bear in mind, I'm 10 years old.
Yeah.
And he explained it all next to me. And he went to my mum and like told her while I was there that the risks were way higher because it was a second surgery, talking about how high my risk of paralysis was and the fact that I might die and all this. And I'm 10 and I had no idea. First surgery, I'm like, it's a surgery, I'll be fine, I'll come out the other side, but I didn't really worry about it. Second time going in, I was like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And
also as well, like if you were paralysed, you look ridiculous in a wheelchair because you're like 6'6".
And I'm 6'7", yeah. How long a wheelchair you'd have to get for me? It'd have to be one of those ones that elevates. Like, I'd have to have one of them. But yeah, like, so obviously not to the same degree as yours, but I understand that like feeling of being like, this is it.
Yeah. Well, as I was sat there the day before, like my surgeon came round and they changed the plan of my operation. Like,
like winging it.
They actually turned up and went, we had a plan. We've changed it. Don't worry about it. It's better. You'll be fine. But can you just sign this waiver for us? Bear in mind, it was massive. And it listed all these things that could go wrong. Suffocation, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And then they put death, I shit you not, death in capitals. So it was
just
written.
To make sure you really know that.
It was handwritten. And he meant, obviously, you know, like the recovery time, you're going to wake up, you're going to have tubes in you, this, that, you're going to have this. And then wrote it all down, all these things, you know, breathlessness for life, all this, I can deal with that, and then wrote death in capital letters and went, and obviously, you know, the obvious one, I was like, well, just pass me the fucking pen, mate. I signed about 5 different pieces of paper to say I couldn't sue the NHS.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. And then I had to just sit there with a cup of tea, which was shit, by the way. Like,
I mean, could at least get you a proper get some Yorkshire Gold in the NHS.
If you're on death row, you can order steak in. You can have whatever you want as your last meal. I had the shittest microwave tomato pasta you've ever had in your life.
It's a myth that though, you know.
Yeah, it varies state by state, and there's very much limitations on it. You can't go, I'll have 16 lobsters.
Yeah, so some of them as well, some of them just go, look, this is what we've got in the back. Yeah. That's kind of what you can have.
The most commonly ordered thing, apparently, is KFC.
Is it?
Yeah, like...
Look at Jesus' Last Supper. Have you seen that picture? The whole Last Supper thing?
It's pretty good spread.
Yeah. No, I had a microwave plate, and I'm thinking, if I die tomorrow and this is the last shit I've had, I'm going to be more fuming than anything else.
If they'd had microwaves in Galilee, there might have been a chance.
Yeah, maybe.
There's I remember looking at a website once that showed loads of people's last meals and stuff, and some guy had like a single black olive. Yeah. And for me personally,
that's the most refined way to go out.
But also as well, for me personally, I look at that and I go, he defo did it. Do you know what I mean? Because
that's a psycho.
That's a psychotic person. A single black, not even 50 black olives. If you really like him, just one. Imagine watching him in the cell opposite, just suckling on a single, knowing that's the last thing he's going to eat on this earth.
He's just trying to psych out the guards. It's just his last little like fuck it. They're like, what's with the olive, and just never explain.
He's made a legacy here, though. Look, like we're talking about it.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
He's made impact.
It's a way to go, isn't it? Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I think that both of your operations should have been available on the NHS.
Yeah, I think
you're welcome.
I feel like I'm very glad mine was. If it wasn't for like the NHS, if we had like an American style healthcare system, my family would still be bankrupt.
Oh yeah, you'd look like one of those like weird sort of like mutant people, after like a post-apocalyptic blast where humans are disfigured and you've got this 8-foot tall freak with a big fucking tumour on his back.
Even I assume we would have worked out a way to get it gone, but like it would have been like the financial consequences would have destroyed my family, definitely, destroyed us. Like we never would have got out of poverty. I would have been completely fucked.
But there are some things I think that should absolutely not be available on the NHS.
I think if it's your fault, deal with it. Like,
right, in what way? Go.
If you're stupid enough to be one of these people that start jumping from building to buildings, or like you're 7.
So any parkour injury.
Yeah, if you're like 7 and you just got a skateboard for Christmas and you try and do like a massive jump at the skate park and you've never been on one before and you break both your legs, deal with it, kid, because that's ridiculous.
At age 7.
Yeah.
What do you mean, deal with it? They can't walk it off. I don't think the magic sponge is going to fucking cut it.
Get yourself another skateboard and push your way around forever.
Yeah.
There you go. No, but I think in adults, right, kids, I shouldn't have used the kids one. Adults, if you're stupid enough to be one of these people, like, you know, if you get absolutely smashed and think, oh, I'm going to climb to the top of this lamppost on a night out and, like, you know, tell some woman to get her tits out, then I think you deserve to have a broken leg for the rest of your life.
Okay.
If it's a medical thing that you can't control, then yeah, you should. But
if it's something that you like, so any drunk injury, should not be available.
Any stupid injury.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know, they do that in Amsterdam. If you smoke like fucking shitloads of weed and you whitey or whatever, and your fucking mates ring an ambulance.
Yeah, but like that's because you don't need an ambulance.
Well, yeah, but over
need a
here,
fucking glass of fizzy pop.
But over here,
there's no medical treatment to be given for smoking too much weed. That's why they're like, you're wasting our time. There's nothing to be done. You just need to wait a bit, and you'll be fine.
I got treated terribly in the Royal. Right, on a night out, listen to this. I was on a night out, I came out of Pop World, I love it, don't care, sorry. Came out of Pop World, I'd had 2 drinks, and I started coughing blood because of my injury.
Yeah.
Like, and this thing I had, and I was sat on the steps, a taxi driver saw me, threw me in the back of a taxi, rushed me to the Royal, threw me out of the Royal and went, help her, quick. Something like she's, whatever, they thought I had alcohol poisoning. They ripped me tights off and everything. I was like, no, I'm trying to explain, but I couldn't breathe.
Oh, Jesus.
And nurses were coming in going, as if we haven't got enough to deal with. I was like, check my blood alcohol levels. I'm not even drunk. And then when they realised and saw like the scar on my back, they were very
I would
nice
suggest
to
that
them.
wouldn't be helped by a policy where if you are drunk or have an idiot injury, then you don't get NHS treatment. I think, you know, I think that's probably going to make that situation worse.
But my cough and blood wasn't to do with drinking.
Sure, but like, you know, you might not even get in the fucking hospital if they're like, we're not
probably
treating
not.
it.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe, I think pretty much fucking everything should be totally free because as soon as you get into like categorizing things, it causes more problems.
Okay, cosmetic surgery.
Depends. It depends. If a burns victim, absolutely. If someone has really deep-seated psychological issues, perhaps if someone's trans.
Okay. So I would say the burns victim, fair enough. Because I mean, aside from anything else, I don't want to look at that. Do you know what I mean?
Harsh.
This is it, man. Do you not want a more attractive society? I think we should be giving out way more cosmetic surgery. Have
a tit job on us so I don't have to look at them fucking pancakes, darling. Come on, have a bum lift. Have a bum lift so I'm not looking at that flat anus when it goes up the stairs.
Like everyone should be offered a fucking gastric band like national service.
Well, I think with regards to the gastric band thing, I think you should be allowed one of 2. Right, but not both. Either the gastric band or the skin removal, but not both.
No, I think right, gastric bands, because like stuff like that massively saves the NHS money down the line.
Yeah, well, that's the argument for it. But the argument against it is you're kind of sort of giving a green light to fat greedy cunts.
I was just about to say, if I sat here now and knew I could get a gastric band free on the NHS, watch me eat everything. I would not.
Mental way to live. I don't think that's like how normal people look at things.
Right. So have you watched £1,000 Sisters yet?
Yeah, £1,000 Sisters aren't normal people. They're not like representative of how most people are. I genuinely don't believe if you said all gastric bands are free, most people wouldn't be like, oh, well, I'm going to get £600 then. Brilliant. It'll be a right laugh having a gastric band.
No, I know, but most people won't need a gastric band, just like most people won't need cosmetic surgery.
Yeah.
But like, if you say it's free, then it's open to abuse.
Yeah, but it already is. It already is, free. And like the abuse is not something I'm worried about. I think it's a much more minor problem than the massive problem of the health issues. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think the abuse is over-reported.
But I do think that you have to. Okay, so with the gastric band thing, right? So my stance is either we'll pay for the gastric band or we'll pay for the skin removal, right? And then that way, if you lose the weight, then the skin removal is a nice reward. That's on us. There you go. Well done. Good lad, right? Or the gastric band is, right, well, we've done that, so now you have to fucking, you know.
I don't think you can, like, unless it's very extreme circumstances, I don't think you can get skin removal on the NHS for a start. Like, you know, like it would have to be a very extreme case. So you have to be like tripping over it.
Yeah.
You know, at that point, yeah. But if it's just like, I look a bit shit, the NHS ain't doing shit about that. No. And like, you know, like, right.
But what about, but you said,
you can't
plastic surgery,
hands,
everyone should be allowed to look.
Yeah, like I was joking for
a
bit. Yeah, no, to be like, you know, dish out. But I do think there's a lot of cases where I think it's appropriate, you know, and I think that'd be fine. Like, I'm genuinely like, I'm really like, you know, when people are like, oh, foreign people are coming over to use the NHS, I'm like, fucking great, let them have a go. Like, you know, I'm completely like,
really?
Just fucking, yeah, genuinely.
Really though?
I think everyone should be able to get healthcare for basically everything for free.
I think everyone should have it, but everyone should have it like in their own countries as well. So
that'd be ideal, but if they don't, I'm alright with them coming here.
But if you're a resident of here, then you pay into it. So we all pay into it, and we all go, well, if we ever need it, then we can have it. But if you're not a resident of here and you come over, then you shouldn't be allowed to use it for free if you haven't paid into it. No,
I just think I think it. Like, I see it's a much more like humanitarian issue. I'd rather someone was fixed than the NHS.
I'm not having fucking some Frenchman come over here. I would like a smaller nose.
That was the creepiest, Frenchest guy I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, this isn't a situation that's happening though, man.
Je voudrais un tinier nostrils.
This isn't what we're talking about. It's not someone popping over for a nip and tuck.
Yeah, I think if they've got genuine health issues, then fix them. No one should die. No one should be left to die. But don't be coming over and thinking, you know what, my right tit is not quite on level with the left, yeah. Country,
I don't want to see lopsided tits about the place.
Everyone's got lopsided tits.
Joking, yeah.
But sometimes it's noticeable and sometimes it's not. Yeah. But I have learned that if a woman ever says, "Can you tell which one's bigger than the other?"
Don't lie to us.
I lie. I go, no, absolutely not.
We own mirrors. We just want you to be liars, so we can go, you're fucking lying.
My missus got hefty lefty.
Hefty lefty.
Hefty lefty. It's a little bit, you know, that's the...
Like a D cup and an A cup.
It's not quite to that degree, but, you know, like... I don't know, like, I just...
Do you know what? I would so be on board with, like, if it was ever a fashion statement for women to have one giant tit. Yeah. I would so be on board with that. Just one fucking
What about
huge...
one giant bollock, then? Like, let's all...
Way ahead of you.
Oh, I don't know about that. One giant...
Well, it's less likely to be a fashion issue because you're not really displaying bollocks in the same way.
Grey trackies. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you not look? Other men's dicks in grey trackies?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you're missing out, Freddie. Can't lie to you. You are.
No, I don't look at other men's penises. I save that for the urinals.
yeah, we get a better view. If you want to look at a guy's dick, just wait till he's pissing.
Do you know what? This is going off topic. Where was I? I was somewhere, right? And I was having a piss. And there was an old man who came up to have a piss next to me, right? And he had a piss right next to me, which, first of all, is faux pas number one. You don't piss right next to somebody when there's other fucking urinals available.
Yeah.
But what men usually do is they walk up to the urinal or whatever, and then they get their dick out and then they start pissing, right?
Yeah.
But what this old man did, and he was about 70, so how he doesn't know this, I don't know. He got his dick out whilst he was about 4 feet away from the thing.
Yeah, I've seen
and
this.
the last 4 feet was just dick in hand.
Yeah, like this isn't an old guy not knowing. This is 70-year-old men do not give a shit if you see their dick. Like, have you not been to... Well, I was about to say, have you not been to a gym? But obviously not.
Swimming baths.
Yeah, there you go.
They do it all the time.
They just don't care. It's like, you get to a certain point, it's just like, yeah, it's my dick. Who cares? Like, you know, no one wants to suck it anymore. I'm just going to get it out.
It's fine. Very true, that, because when you're swimming, like... men's changing rooms, it's all sort of open and stuff, and so but what happens is that there's almost like an unwritten rule that it's like, okay, I'm not going to hide my dick, I'm not going to go in a cubicle, because the cubicles are the fucking refuge for the small penised man. That's what they are.
You are immediately going, I've got a micro dick.
Yeah.
So it's an admission of defeat.
So what you have to do, you go,
I guess I'm going to have to go in the cubicle because I've got a really small penis.
So you can't do that. You have to do it in the middle to be like, I've got a dick, and it's just a normal size.
You face your locker, you don't make a show of it, you know, you do the quick change of like, you whip the pants off, whip them back on, so go.
Use the towel as a way of sort of, or you can even, if you're clever, use the door close the locker as a way of kind of like shielding a little bit, just so you can fucking have a little bit of privacy.
Do you not have any like asshole shame? Because this is something I think of.
Give a fuck if someone sees me bumhole. I'll get your bumhole out now.
Not now.
I'd bend over in the middle of the changing rooms and separate it and just poof into people's faces. Couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, no.
I always think that's a major thing. Like, obviously, I'm not a bloke, so I don't know. But I think if you go into like a bloke's changing rooms, like, you can all whip your dick out. All dicks are different. We all get that. But to me, especially males who aren't comfortable with other males being too close to them, or males that might fancy them, or something like.
Nah, dick is definitely way more of a problem than bumholes. Because you've got it the wrong way around. Because all bumholes are kind of the same. That's why it's not an issue.
Yeah.
But like dicks are wildly different. It's a little bit like you're seeing your little bit of your secret personality.
Also as well, no one's ever gone, fucking hell. Check out that guy over there. He's got a massive bumhole. He's got a fucking...
No, but you can't say there's not been one guy at the gym that's wanted to have a nose.
It's true what they say about black guys, isn't it? Fucking huge bumholes. Huge bumholes. No, but the thing is, though, is like...
And it's not even about something like, that you're worried like someone's going to look at your dick and be like, ooh, lovely. Like, I couldn't give a fuck. Like, if a gay guy looked at my dick and was like, ooh, I'd be fucking delighted.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, that's a connoisseur who has appreciated my goods.
Yeah.
But, like, it's more
if he came over like a sommelier with wine and was like...
It's more like you don't want to be the guy who's showing off your knob. It's just a bit weird. It's just a weird social situation. It's all it is. It's not like, I don't know. I think there will be guys who definitely are like, oh, I don't want it to be gay. But like, for me, it's just like a bit of an awkward situation rather than anything else. There's nothing to do.
If you're stood there with your dick out, then you are making a statement. Okay?
To other men.
Yes, and the statement that you are making is, do you know what it's like? It's like how the audience sees other people that sit at the front on comedy shows. Like, fucking hell, they're a bit confident, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
I'd never do that. I would never sit front row. It would never happen.
But do you not think as well...
If you had a dick, you wouldn't be the guy who's hanging it out in the changing rooms then. Yeah. Because like I did walk into my gym changing rooms last week and there was a dude who wasn't old enough to be doing this. He was like 30. Just fucking hog out. But like he had a hammer and he was in really good shape. And so he's just showing. But like, why are you showing this off to me, mate?
Although I've seen it before where they've had their dick out and because you have to
your eyes go there. If the dick's out, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, exactly. You just kind of go...
you can't not look at a dick that's out in a room.
But I looked at it, I looked at the dick, and I was like, I would be in a cubicle. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's it. There are two types of people who whack the dick out, right? And it's either they've got a massive dick or a tiny dick, and like no one in the middle.
Yeah.
Like a massive dick, they're like, "Way, look at me, massive knob." And I think tiny dick guys are like, just don't give a shit.
But sometimes tiny dick guys have it out with the energy of massive dick guys.
But I think that like
small dog syndrome. It's kind of like
they actually separate the foreskin and start barking.
But no, I do know what you mean. Maybe it's just that thing of like the confidence sort of making up for the tiny knob.
Yeah, it's like
it's
it
not
might
the
be
size.
small,
It's not
but
the
like,
size
you
of
know
the.
what I can do with it.
It's not the size of the cock in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the cock.
Yeah.
I think that stands with blokes though.
What?
Like, not going to go too much into it because people I know are going to maybe watch this. But I don't think it really matters because there's people who I may know and I might have had drinks with.
So may or might definitely didn't have.
That aren't blessed. And
aren't blessed.
Yeah. And they can do better job than blessed people. So maybe So if I was a bloke with a small dick and I was
could that also be just sort of throwing this out there, could that also be the guy with the small cock, was he quite more unattractive than the bloke with the big dick?
No.
He was, wasn't he? Right,
no.
Okay. The only reason that I asked that is because the bloke with the small dick was like, to him, you might be his fucking Everest. Do you know what I mean? So it might be like, this is the best woman I'm ever going to shag.
And
I have to really put it in. Whereas with the guy with the big dick, he's like, Tuesday. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's more the thing of like, I think guys with big dicks assume that they don't have to do much more. So like, it's fucking massive.
That is it.
Really?
Whereas
like
I've
they
got
think
a perfectly
if I just
normal
put
size
it in,
dick, and I knew that I was going to have to learn some other techniques to facilitate it.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Like people with like big ones think, I'll just shove it in once. You're going to be made up, aren't you? And it's like absolutely.
I'll just shove it in once.
Unless it's got one of those bunny attachments, you're going to need to do a bit more with it.
Yeah,
I'm just going to shove it in once, and you're going to be made up.
No, they could literally just put it in, lie still, and be like, "You're loving that, aren't you?" No, go. You can go home now.
Yeah, because if there's a really tasty looking sandwich that's 12 inches meatball marinara and you just put it in your mouth, you don't go, oh, this is brilliant. Like, you need to eat it.
Yeah, but small dick people.
No, it didn't.
No.
You really thought you had something there.
I wondered where that was going.
That would be nice, putting a big sandwich in your mouth, you fucking idiot.
I'm just really hungry as well. I've not had any food all day.
What a fat cunt analogy that was. So, like, you got a massive sandwich with cheese. Where was it?
It didn't work at all. I fucking pussied out of it halfway through.
I could see you losing faith in your own analogy as you were doing it. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure we were meant to talk about the NHS, weren't we?
Yeah.
So anyway, dick reductions on the NHS. What about a dick enlarging procedure?
No.
Yeah.
No, you need to pay for that. So I honestly believe any cosmetic surgery you should have to pay for. If it's
Katie Piper, do you think?
What? Sorry,
do you think Katie Piper should have had to pay for her cosmetic?
No.
Well, she can afford it, can't she?
She can now.
Yeah.
But she wasn't getting those TV gigs if she didn't get the NHS.
And to be fair, she wouldn't be getting those TV gigs if she did get the NHS. Like, if she got, I was going to say fully fixed. Fucking hell. But you know what I mean? Like part of the reason that Katie Piper has the career that she had is because you look at her and you go, fucking hell, do you know what I mean? She's been through a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's brave.
Well, I think she's a perfect example of someone who definitely deserves an NHS.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I agree with that.
So it's not so black and white.
No, but if it's anything worth...
If we're starting there, we can get you to tit jobs.
Right. No, I think that if it's something like that where it's like, Jesus wept.
Someone's been attacked or disfigured.
Wasn't she like acid attack?
Yeah, that's not your fault. It's another thing. If it's not your fault, then
I think it's a bit... You get into a bit... Like, when you start going, is this your fault or not, you get into very dodgy territory. Like, anyone who's fat, any fucking...
Because with the acid attack thing, you go, well, you did cheat on him. Do you know?
Any liver disease, did you drink any alcohol? You got lung cancer, did you smoke? You know, like, you can put blame on so many.
But I don't think there's a grey area with that. If someone throws acid on my face, that's a lot different than me throwing acid and you go and listen, me dick's 3 centimetres, can you help me out? It's a bit different.
Sure. But like, it's once you start making those value judgments of is this illness your fault or not, I think it's...
What about, right, so you know with cosmetic surgery, right, and I think that's the most contentious one, right, is with something like that, if it's somebody who is, let's say, a normal looking woman, just a normal solid 5, keep it relatable. If it's
says the 2. Ooh, burned by a 2.
So it's a normal solid 5, and it's like, I've always had a problem with my nose, and actually it's got to the point where I can't leave the house, I can't work, I can't do anything, because when I go out, people are looking at my nose.
Yeah, but that person doesn't need cosmetic surgery, they need therapy, and that should be on the NHS. That's a very different thing. Like, that's the problem still needs treating, but the problem isn't the nose.
Yeah. But I think that about all cosmetic surgery, all cosmetic surgery that isn't like you know.
I think that's probably true.
Because I've never known anybody. In fact, I've known one person in my life that's had cosmetic surgery and gone, "That's the one thing I needed to do."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then I still think those people need treating, but the treatment needs to be different.
Yeah.
I think the psychological problems obviously what needs.
So is there anything that you wouldn't put on the NHS? Anything at all?
I'm trying to think. Like, there might well be, but like also like it's because of like how I look at like the government spending. When you look at like government spending, you got to realise it isn't like a household budget. It isn't like the thing that we pay into and there's a big kitty and then it comes out of there. Government creates money. Like that's how government money's spent, and they can literally just do that for the NHS.
Yeah.
And like, you know, maybe stop spending so much money on bombs. That's where I would like the money to be stopped.
But at the same time, though, is like, I do think that there has to be some stuff that you're responsible for with regards to your health, because I think that there has to be.
What an amazing shout from you!
I know.
The least healthy man I have ever met.
But I think that there has to be some consequence for you maintaining a certain level of health.
I think the unhealth that you get as a result is consequence enough. You know, if you're getting diabetes from your lifestyle, that is punishment enough, let alone there having to be a financial penalty on top of that.
But if you smoke 40 cigarettes a day every day. I mean, don't get me wrong, with the tax that you've paid on cigarettes, you've more than paid for your own treatment, haven't you?
This is it. Like, you know.
But at the same time, though, it's like, it's a bit much to be like, okay, fix this. And it's like, well, you've kind of not helped yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so what's the answer then? You just leave them to die? Because that's the alternative.
I mean, that works for me.
You could have just left me to die. Like, honestly, I have took up surgeons' times that could have been, and I will say this, better used somewhere else. So the surgeons that worked on me are top cardiac surgeons. They could have been off that day operating on someone else who had a better chance of survival than what I did. I'm probably still not going to get to 80. Like, my fix is not a fix. It's a temporary solution to keep me alive now. But it's not a forever.
All healthcare is. It's only by degree. You know, like, why is 80 the goal? Like, if you make it, it's like we're all going to die at some point. It's all essentially pointless when you look at it at that level. Like, giving you more life is definitely a worthwhile thing to do.
But with that operation, I still could have had 10 years. Without that operation, I could have had 10 years.
Yeah, but what 10 years? Would it have been it sounded like it was pretty horrible before.
Yeah, it was, I couldn't have lived a normal life. But then at the same time, I had the battle of, do I go into this operation with a 20% chance and come out and have a longer life? Or do I go into the operation? I could have died then, and then I could have lost 6 years with my kids.
Yeah,
so
totally.
that was a constant thing, and the amount of time I took up, like, these specialists they're on a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? And they deserve to be. They should be on more. But I'm taking up time to me that could have been used somewhere else for someone else. Like, there could have been somewhere else that I'd say a cancerous mass in their chest. Someone else that if they'd operated on them would fully survive with no risk.
Yeah, but
and
when you say
better.
fully survive, it's no one knows how long they've got, and I just don't think it's a value judgment you could make. And I think like the current, I don't know if it's fully like this, but how my idea is just try and fix everything in everyone would be the idea.
Because I mean, the thing is as well is if you think down the way that you are thinking, there's nothing to say that surgeon could go, well, do you know what, fuck her, because she's only got a 20% chance. And this over here, one with breast cancer, I know that if I fix her, there'll be a 100% chance. Yeah. That woman could get cured of breast cancer and then a week later get hit by a bus.
Exactly.
Totally true, but
she could be a paedophile.
She could be, but it's a true fact that you do.
You could be enabling a new Ghislaine Maxwell with this surgery.
Do you know what? That's a really interesting way to sort of take the conversation as well, because does it matter what people have done, like how you treat them?
No.
Again, like, I think just it's got to be a blind system. It's got to be just everyone who comes in with anything gets treated, because all the other alternatives are way worse. It's more it costs more money to like filter more people. It makes it less efficient. It makes it like just everything about like separating it like that makes it worse.
Would you do it with anti-vaxxers? So people who are like, I refuse to have the vaccine.
No, because there's not enough proof with stuff like that. There's not you aren't asking a whole entire world to just back what people are going. Yeah, you're going to be sound.
But surely a way to go around that would be, listen, right? So we need you to have this vaccine so that you don't clog beds and stuff like that. If you don't want to have it, then that's fine. But if you end up needing hospital treatment, then you are going to have to give us some of the money towards that.
Yeah, no, it's the same principle with everything. I think just everyone for everything should be treated totally free.
But then
because it's the same argument as someone going to you need to have a salad and a fucking jog, and if you have a heart condition, I think you should be fixed.
But I don't have a heart condition.
But if you're gonna get something eventually, if you carry on your lifestyle forever.
I don't know, mate. I'm having a sugar-free Red Bull now.
No, you might well get away with it. But what I mean is, if someone is unhealthy in any way and it contributes to their ill health, I think because blame's so nebulous as well when you get back to it like that. Like, who is causing that? Like, are we looking at like the societal factors that got people addicted to cigarettes? Are we blaming? Like when you look for blame, it's so hard to fucking pin down. Yeah. I think people are so complicated and society's so complicated. And I just think like having people untreated with medical issues is bad for all of us. And like I
definitely wouldn't want to do
I think it's the best thing we do, the NHS, and I think it's like I think we should do more of it.
But it is also bloated with stuff that's nonsense.
Yeah, but I think where the problems are sort of like misreported. I don't think the big problem is loads of people going in for lip fillers. I think the problem is massive funding.
But also just pissing money away. So, for example,
I think it's really fucking tight, the NHS now. Like the amount
for
of
example,
efficiency
though,
drives they've had.
But you say that, but literally again, like I say, this week, comedians helping trauma. Sure. That shouldn't be. That should not exist. Here's what should happen. Someone should come to the office and say, listen, guys, we want you to give us some money so comedians can come and help trauma victims. And what should happen is the person in charge of the budget should go, never contact me again with that ridiculous idea.
I haven't read like the full story because I assumed it would be one of these bollocks stories that always happens.
Yeah.
Is it an actual policy that is actually happening?
It's actually happening.
How many people are doing it?
I don't know.
How much?
But even if it's one, it's too many.
Sure, but like it's the kind of thing where the NHS might trial something and see if there are any results.
But then how much money are you putting into trialing it though?
What?
How much money are you going to put into something to trial?
Do you know what?
To play devil's advocate from their side, what if you end up saving loads more money because rather than having someone constantly going through psychiatric treatment, you've given this like weird intervention and it works?
I can't see Broado being empty now because of a comedy course. I just can't.
No, sure, I don't either personally.
Well, let's take comedy out of the equation because we're both comedians. We've kind of got a vested interest in it. What if it wasn't comedy? What if it was juggling?
But like, I don't know if that works. You know,
but
it's not.
There's nothing to say that it would. Like, I was depressed. And then, I started juggling and then I felt better.
We've had juggling for years. This is where I would sit on it. I would go, well, we've had juggling for centuries and centuries, and you know what? It's not cured anyone up to now. No one's been depressed, picked up 3 balls and gone, hey! So why is it going to start now just because you put BBC News in front of it? I don't think...
This is a comment that somebody put on Facebook that I thought was the best thing ever about it, right? Prescribing comedy classes so people can essentially humiliate themselves performing at terrible open mic nights is an irresponsible use of limited funding. Far cheaper and more effective to prescribe a couple of boxes of paracetamol. So if someone wants to self-harm as a way of relieving suffering, they can do it away from other people and not inflict their misery on an unsuspecting audience of 2 people who then might need additional government-funded therapy as a result.
Do you know what?
Slam.
Out of that full comments, the one thing that pisses me off the most is why prescribe paracetamol. Don't prescribe paracetamol because it costs the NHS like £7 something, right? Yeah. It's 23p in home and bargain or home bargains. Yeah. Sorry, I'm scout.
What?
Yeah, no, it's true because they've got to buy it through with they have contracted supplies. It's where like the modern NHS is like fucked in a lot of ways. It's just like because there's the sort of stealth privatisation of it. So there are certain providers that are contracted have to sell medicines to the NHS,
like a Bureaucracy, for ales.
So this is
honestly,
it totally is. So
it's a great way of looking at it.
It's
why's my paracetamol got Wainwright's on it?
Yeah. So but like that's where like NHS privatisation comes into it and fucks it in a way, so.
So it cost them £7.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how much a prescription is now because I haven't had a prescription for ages. But whatever much it is,
it costs way more than like market value for them to get.
Wow.
So now if you go, they'll go just get some paracetamol off the counter because it's going to cost you say what 20p. But yet if you go and get like paracetamol on prescription, it costs you like £8 something for your prescription.
Fucking.
Well, like, even
so that's what's wrong with that comment.
Free, it costs the NHS a shitload.
Do you know what? I had a thing recently. It's not NHS. I just went to the pharmacy. I was literally going past the pharmacy and I was like, I need to go in and talk to these people. So I went in and I was like, I have got gross... Well, no, not a rash, but probably even more grotesque than that.
Gross. You've used the wrong...
Yeah, I went in and went, I am gross. And they went, yes.
Yeah, there's not much we can do.
I said, look, I've got this gross, like, fungal nail infection on my toenails. And it's like gross fungal shit.
I've got the fungal nails, mate.
And I was like, I'm just ignoring it. But, like, I imagine that that's not the best thing to do long term. And they were like, oh, right, okay, you can get some fucking Curinail. And I was like, all right, okay. And then they went, all right, it's £34. And I was like, what? And they went, yeah, that's how much this costs. And I went, that is expensive for something that is a cosmetic problem that I don't really look at. And they went, just get some tea tree oil. And
you don't even need that salt water, like hot water with salt in.
Really?
Yeah.
I got some tea tree oil, cured it right up. Yeah. Just little, honestly, like 80p. Dabbed it on my fucking...
Do you not think this is like this with razors? I know this is completely off topic, right? But men's razors, and I can like ask you because you're obviously both male.
I'm both avid shavers.
Well, not obviously, actually. Please
so you're obviously both beards, but all these massive like adverts in this for like Mach 3 Turbo, and they charge like £15-20 for this. It's a fucking razor.
Yeah.
Like, stop. And I think it's the same, like, with medicines.
That's not just men, though, is it? You fucking Venus.
Yeah.
I think it's more slightly obvious for male razors, though, and, like, beard trimmers and all these, like, fantastic things.
Well, the way they market razors as well, like, with women, it's like comfort, elegance, smoothness.
Have you ever watched a woman shave her legs? There's fuck all elegance about it.
She's
got a foot on the sink. She's, like, bent over.
The way that they market it with men, they go big, fast... strong.
The one that annoys me the most is like fucking shower gel. Like women get to smell of like lavender or fruit or something nice, and we just get like cool sport. What the fuck does cool sport smell of, mate?
You get tingly balls though.
Yeah, that's not nice.
It's not great.
That mint sauce is not a pleasant experience.
Oh, I thought you liked it.
No,
not really. It's a weird sort of...
The first time I used that, I was deeply upset. I felt violated.
It's a weird sort of thing. It's not sexually arousing.
No, it's horrible. I did not enjoy it. Like, I did not want my balls to be that hot.
Coated finger of it up your arsehole, it's nice. But aside from that...
Listen, what you do in the shower's up to you.
That's what we all do. That's what we all do when we're checking out each other's bubbles.
What we all do.
Is that what actually happens in the changing rooms?
That's what happens.
Yeah, okay.
It's an extreme version of a wet willy.
Yeah, but wouldn't you rather that than an actual wet willy? So let's...
No, I'd much rather have a wet willy.
I think with men's shower shampoo as well, it's like there's a lot of coffee smells that comes through now, like, you know, like Alpecin coffee. It's like, I don't
well, no, that's
coffee.
caffeine to stop you going bald.
Oh, right.
The idea is the caffeine stimulates your head.
Oh, right. I think it's the smell of coffee.
No, it's not so you smell of coffee, you dickhead.
Walking past you, Arabica.
Yeah, you want to wander around smelling like a fucking barista.
Do you know what I use? And I don't even give a fuck. I use Lush.
Yeah.
Yeah? Not arsed.
Treat yourself?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, like, I'll have a fruity shower gel. I'm not, like, confined by the gender they put onto a shower gel. Like, my masculinity is not so fragile. I'll just go have a lovely, like, you know, moisturising vanilla or something, you know?
Yeah, I don't mind that either as well. And I feel sorry for those guys that are like...
I use firm believers that one shower gel does everything.
Yes.
Like I'm actually like I'm way more like finicky with stuff like that than you'd think. Like I'll use a shower gel, head shampoo, face scrub, beard shampoo. I've got all the different gear. Like
you just one bottle everything, then yeah.
Yes.
Sound.
So I
3-in-1 go.
I use a particular Lush shampoo. Shower gel thing, and I
start peddling it. You might get a sponsor.
Oh, from Lush.
Get a Lush black card.
I'm sure Lush with their ethics will really want to play.
If you're listening, can we have a lifetime supply of whatever he washes his balls with, please?
And to be honest with you, if it meant better shampoos, I would quite happily let them test on animals. I wouldn't be asked at all.
Yeah. Well, that's a different lane, but you know. I think you can imagine what I'm going to say as a vegetarian to that.
Do you not like animal testing?
not for medicine. I think it's a different thing.
So we can kill a rat with a jab, but we can't, like, you know, put some shampoo on it on an orangutan. Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
Well, also as well, there's loads of rats and there's like 3 orangutans.
Yeah, and also like the end goal of that jab for the rat, I assume, isn't to just try and kill it; it's to try and cure a disease. Where it's not just get a lovely new flavour of shampoo. Those are very different objectives, I would say.
Are there any medicines tested on animals that you wouldn't approve of? So, if, for example, there was like I don't know,
hormones.
Fake tan.
Not a medicine. Not a medicine. What condition? Like what Michael Jackson's had. Like that's what you need to fake tan.
Also, as well, why would you test that on a rat or a mouse?
I think that they do test that sort of stuff on animals, see if it like burns the skin. I mean, I'm sure there might be like it's an interesting one because it would like that would come to a case by case. I think like there might well be something where the condition was so minor and the test was so harsh. That I would think it
what about like alopecia, not alopecia, but like male pattern baldness?
Yeah,
and they would develop
it to me. Just fucking like grow up, be bald, like.
Oh, so that shouldn't be available. Should that be available on the NHS?
I think it's subject to what
there might be.
you
There
feel.
might be a specific case in which, but like in general, no. But there might be a specific case.
I can't think of a single possible way.
I can't, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't exist.
Even like alopecia or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get wigs on the NHS, do you?
I think you can. Yeah.
You can.
I think
Can
it would,
you?
Yeah, and I think that's a nice thing. Like because. It's not like, in the scale of like investments of the NHS, a wig compared with the cost of surgery is fuck all. And if you can drastically improve someone's quality of life, then I think that's a good thing to do.
But I think what they should do is, like, the wig should be available, but someone you don't like gets to pick it.
No, I think it should be the other way around. You get to pick whose hair you have. So like, that bitch is giving me a fucking crown.
Oh, right, you meant someone like existing in the hospital.
Yeah, you can just be like, that nurse.
I'd call in sick.
Just all the dinner ladies are bald as fuck in the hospital dishing out. Bald janitor walks past.
And then the NHS would be fucked because no one would go to work.
That is true, yeah. If you had a risk of losing your barnet every day.
I wouldn't be there.
No,
It's fucked at the moment because of the staffing crisis, isn't it?
Yeah, with the Omicron.
Well, just in general. Yeah. In general, they can't get people to do it.
Well, like, who's fucking signing up for that job at the moment? I think, if it's like signing up for the Territorial Army when the Iraq War was on. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, wait it out a bit, mate. You're not having a weekend on a zip line at the moment, are you? You're going to fucking Baghdad.
Yeah.
Same we're getting in the NHS right now, and it doesn't look appealing. Wages are low. It's an incredibly hard job. Like, the conditions they're working in are terrible. Like, I do think it's like genuinely like heroic to be a nurse is insanely, because you're not getting any fucking reward. As a doctor, you might get paid well at least. If you're a nurse,
there is a level of heroism in there. In fact, it's probably the definition of heroism for you to be like, there's nothing in this for me. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm
totally altruistic.
Pretty much specifically doing it for other people. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I also couldn't be like any caregiver at all.
Well, no, because you don't care.
No, I don't at all.
This is it.
At all.
You're like, get out. Like, what do you need a fucking walk-in bath for, you lazy old bitch? Come on, get up. I'm not doing your shopping for you. Come on, get down Morrison's.
Do you know what? My dog, when he needs a piss and he goes around the table, I'm like, oh, again. Do you know what I mean? But imagine that with someone's gran.
I've got to wipe your ass again, have I?
I wouldn't do it.
You shouldn't have had that chili last night. That's your own fault.
Oh, mate, I'd be fucking fuming. No, I'm not doing it if all you're going to eat is super noodles.
What are you going to do when you get that old and you need your ass wiping, then what?
So, first of all, me and get dead old are two things that I've never really had to worry about. I think I'm
live slow, die young, and leave an ugly corpse.
Leave a big fat bloated corpse in the ground.
By the way, I'm not being a fucking pallbearer unless you get a lot of other very strong blokes to help us out.
Oh, do you know what? My pallbearers are gonna be you and all of the most crippled people I know. Like all of the comedians. Yeah. I'm going to get Jack Carroll, Lost Voice Guy, Tim Renko, and you.
Right, brilliant.
Just to see what it's like. As well, because you'll be...
Do a lot of heavy lifting like I would if that was a comedy bill. No, I like all them. I'm joking.
Fucking Lord above. But yeah, caregivers and stuff like that. Like the whole fucking... Like, I've had to go around and see Janice, and she's 94... and she screams racial abuse in my face, and I'm a Filipino person, carer, yeah, and she just screams at me and tells me to go back to my own country, and then I have to wipe her ass, and then I have to make her dinner, and then I have to make sure she's comfortable, and then I have to do that another 8 times in the day. It's like I just couldn't fucking do it.
Yeah, no, I couldn't either. But more power to the people who do.
You've been in a nursing home?
I've been, I used to visit my great gran in a nursing home.
You've been in a hospice?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Oh, they are the fucking worst, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's like, you know what's great? Hospices. You know where I love hanging out on a weekend? Fuck going out to bars. I'm going down to St. Michael's. To be fair though, there is an amazing hospice in Harrogate that's like so beautiful. Like my old
Of course, it's Harrogate.
Well, yeah, this is it. My old work was like right next door to it, and like, you know, it was like a beautiful, amazing scenery. But we just see like, you know, sad people walking around with people who clearly didn't have a long life. It was a bit of a bummer, to be honest. Look out the window while I was in the middle of my shitty sales job.
But I couldn't do it because you've got to care for those people.
Yeah,
right?
you've got to have that compassion.
But also as well, in order for you to make that like. In order for you to get through that job, you have to develop the wall to not care. Do you know what I mean?
I had to do that to myself.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
I had to not care about me. When you hear that whole like, oh, you might not be here soon, or you've got weeks, or you have to literally just go, not asked, sounds, happens, it happens. You've got to have that not care, and then someone can say something to you, and you're just like, yeah, I would have people who knew about my situation coming up to me and go, oh, and you're dead sad though, like what if it's like next week, like what if I never see you again? I'd be like, I'm sad.
Shit.
Just don't see you then, do I? What do you want me to do? Like what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, you have to have some sort of like acceptance on that level, I think.
You just gotta like accept to not be asked.
Would you do
Can't
like,
change it.
you know when you see those every once in a while they do like stories of like children or whatever who have like 1 in a million syndrome or whatever.
Yeah.
And the doctors are like, we don't know what we're going to do with this anymore. Do you know, like we don't know how this is, like, it's baffled us. Do you know what I mean? Like, look, we can either keep your child alive on all of this equipment and it's just, like, it's alive, but they ain't going to be alive. They're just going to be there.
Yeah.
Like, or we can, you know.
Turn it off.
Yeah, we can just get rid, pretend it never happened.
You can switch mine off.
Look the other day. Look the other way. Well, would you want to be switched off?
Yeah, definitely.
I got given that. Like
Shut the fuck up, really?
In the last operation I had, but they turned around and said, like, when I came out, there was a high possibility that I'd be put into an induced coma if I couldn't breathe for myself. So if I didn't basically die on the table, but when they tried to bring me around, if I didn't breathe properly, which was a high possibility, they'd put me into an induced coma and they'd keep me breathing. And then it'd be a case of, it would be my parents' decision to go, yeah, or no, like, you're going to have to turn it off now. Because I'm never going to breathe by myself. But I'm technically still alive. And that's the NHS part of, and I hate it.
So they're not allowed to say to, like, they're not allowed to just go.
Well, the Hippocratic Oath is they've got to try and, you know, cure everyone and try and keep everyone who is alive. You can't, like, they can't, you know, it's do no harm as well. They can't turn you off.
But is that living though?
No.
It's not being alive. It's being alive insofar as your heart's beating.
But like if I'd have woke up and took my first breath myself and would have gone and not, they have the duty of care to go, keep it alive, blah, 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 do whatever they've got to do to keep me alive. But then after they got me to a stable point, go to my parents, she's not going to breathe by herself, so I'm going to have to turn it off.
Fuck.
And my mum and dad could have gone, nah, you know.
Yeah.
So what? Because there's a chance she could heal.
So what? I mean, did you say to your mum and dad?
Turn me off.
Turn me off.
Yeah.
And were they all right with that?
One was, one wasn't.
Really?
So and they aren't together. The divorce. They don't speak. So that would be a fun. But both would have full rights.
What a fucking movie that'd be.
See, I didn't.
That's a great movie.
That's a Kramer versus Kramer sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't speak to my dad for years. Like we fell out. We only got speaking because my mum got in contact with him and said,
yeah,
there's a good chance she's not going to make this operation. You need to speak to her. So he got in contact with me and I told him everything. And me dad was on full thing of, you want it off? We turn it off. And my mum went, nope.
What?
Not doing it.
So why did your mum say no, if you don't mind me asking? What was her...
Probably didn't want her daughter to die.
I don't think it was more so didn't want... I think it was more because because my mum's been there for everything. Because she was there constantly. I mean, like my dad wasn't. She's seen a lot. She's seen the constant fights. She's seen the recoveries. She's seen the struggles. She's seen everything. And I've always got through it. And I think she's got the impression that, oh, you might not be able to breathe now, but you might in a week.
Yeah.
Come on, like, heal.
They clearly made the pretty tough stuff to, like, get through it, you know.
Yeah.
People say that to me, and I don't see it as an insult. I see it as an insult to the doctors. It's not me. I didn't save me. I didn't do anything special. I lay there.
Yeah, sure. But
I mean,
just at some point, like in your body, there is something tough that has got through it. You know, it's not a conscious thing you've done because it's not like you choose to.
Like I kind of give up. Like the third, because I've had this operation, this is the 4th time, was this one. I kind of gave up before it because I got told there was nothing you can do. And even this operation, it's not a full fix.
I think what Rob's trying to say is that you're very brave.
I'm not saying that at all. I want to make very clear.
No, if you'd have seen the state of me before I went in for that operation, I was not brave at all.
Oh, you'd be fucking cacking yourself.
I got took by porters into this one room. And there was countless machines. I can't even tell you how many machines were in this room. And there was loads. And I seen all the surgeons. And there was a full team. Ones I'd never even met yet. People from Leeds and everything. And the room was chocker. And like the
generally not a good sign for a surgery. If other doctors are interested in what's going on, you're having something fucked up.
Well, yeah, it's like comedians.
Yeah, you want to go watch someone bombing, don't you?
Basically, you want to watch someone die.
Yeah.
it was thanks.
Oh my God.
I knew they shouldn't let so many stag do's in.
That show. Mine was
there's a fucking end party with a blow-up dick at the front.
They're always trouble out there.
My thing was actually recorded. That's now used in universities and stuff. They wouldn't give it to me because apparently it's traumatising. I'm like, hang on, you're in my side, mate. Like, can I have it?
Well, a little sidetrack for Freddie. You know, Will Hutchby used to be a comedian.
Yeah.
He's a videographer. He filmed stuff for us.
Yep.
That's his job. Now he films like mad surgeries for the NHS.
Really?
That's what he does. Yeah. Mate, he told me a gnarly story about a guy like this guy had a huge swelling around his pubis. They didn't really know what it was, so they got him under and they cut into it, and it just exploded with pus and like covered Will and like covered the wall. All this, it just went bang.
What colour was the pus?
Brown, purple, green. Just like he said, it was the worst thing he's ever smelled. Like everyone started throwing up. They had to just like leave.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's his job.
But 250 quid you're in frame.
No.
He should start a YouTube channel, shouldn't he?
That's not going on Lad Bible, that is it? It's just not. It's not.
With Dr. Pimple Popper, extreme version.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Do you know what? All hospital stuff makes me fucking... Ugh.
Yeah, I'm bad with it, man. I'm really phobic of needles, like injections. I don't like the smell of hospitals. It's all just like going back to me being a kid and being in them loads.
Do you know what's really interesting is I was talking to you about your phobia of needles, and I could never understand why somebody would be afraid of needles. And then you said it, and I went, oh, I understand now.
Yeah.
So you was like, I don't like the idea of having something in me.
Yeah,
like
it's not the injection itself, because like I'm not scared of like that.
Yeah.
Like I've got loads of tattoos, that doesn't bother me at all. It's the moving of like liquid in and out of my veins, that feeling. It's because like I had a fucked up the first blood test I had when I was a kid with the spine stuff. They fucked it up and missed the vein a bunch of times, and like I fainted, and it was a horrible experience, and I was 7. So, you know, that's all it is. But yeah, it's that feeling of liquid moving in and out of my veins. I had it so many hundreds of times over that period as well, and it's so like bound in with all that like horrible experience, I think. So yeah.
See, I woke up and had 2 tubes about that big.
I've had them in like my arm and stuff, but I've never had them in there.
No, they were like drainage tubes.
Gross.
They literally
Mate,
went in my side and up into my
that'd
lung.
fuck me
so
up.
I woke up feeling like Bane. I was like, and I looked at it and I could see.
I
like,
was born
liquid.
with the tubes.
Yeah. And you know when you can see like liquid come out, and I'm looking at it going like, I'm sure that's supposed to be in.
You said that like you know when. No, I don't know when. You can see the liquid coming out of the tubes.
It's absolutely disgusting. That's the point
vile.
where I'd be like, excuse me, nurse.
Can you switch me off?
Yeah. Would it be possible
honestly.
to kill me?
Yeah.
It's hot, and then but you've got to be. It's fine. They go in when you're asleep, but they take them out when you're awake.
Oh, fuck off.
So yeah, you literally have to
disgusting.
raise.
I'd literally, you know, the bit where they said like, you know, if we can't, do you want us to put you in an induced coma? With me, it would be like, okay, so if we do the operation, but when you're coming round, something's a bit gross, I'd be like, yeah, just turn me off, mate. Just,
Well, I woke up with a spinal block, so even like when they woke me
gross
up,
before you went under.
Well, he's got that fungal nail thing. Is that what he was talking about? I can't cope with it, mate. And do you know what? I am the healthiest person on this podcast because I haven't had anything wrong with me ever
Yet.
yeah.
Let's run this back in 20 years.
But I don't. Do you know what? I'm fine because I don't get ill. I never. I never
you don't
get
get ill yet.
No, I don't. Do you know what?
You're going to lose a foot to diabetes.
There's going to be one time.
He's going to lose a foot to a fungal thing.
You imagine that? Just like, oh, mate.
I did see a homeless guy once who he had the top of his shoe cut off there and his big fungly nails were coming out because they'd all like grown mad.
Really?
Could you imagine that conversation? Oh, Freddie, what happened to your foot? Was it diabetes? Nah, just sweaty toes, mate. Didn't pay £34 in the chemist and now look like fucked.
Yeah, in retrospect, probably it was a bargain at the time, but I didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
Fuck. Right, we are going to get going. This has been a pleasure. What do you think? Tell us in the comments. See, I'm trying to fucking push YouTube and stuff now.
Do you think the homeless should be euthanized? Right in.
Is there stuff on the NHS that you think we shouldn't pay for? What about cosmetic surgery? What about 1 in a million surgeries and stuff like that? Let us know. Before we go, is there anything that you would like to plug? Either of you, Amanda?
I've got one, and I spoke to there's a guy on TikTok, you might know him.
Okay.
And only because I told him I was like kind of coming here to do this, and he was one of the main people who, when I was going through that shit time, I was watching. Obviously, you was one as well. I've told you that, but he was another one of these fellas whose TikToks, when I had really shit days, got me through a lot.
Okay.
And that's that hashtag FatLadFM.
FatLadFM.
Yes.
Got a type on TikTok then.
No, he's like.
I really like watching people that can't fit on the screen.
No, he's
the only person who does his TikTok's landscape.
No, honestly, he takes the piss out of everyone. He's been banned a few times. He's kind of like yourself. He's not bothered. He'll say what he wants and just does not care.
Currently going through a TikTok ban at the moment for uploading a joke. Joke about trans people, standard. And it was a little joke that I just wrote the other day. About used to work with somebody who was transgender. One day they just came to the office and said, from now on, I want to be treated like all the other women. So they started paying him less. Yeah, that's the bit. And ban 7 days.
Listen, if a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man, you can be funny. That's the way I see it. I just think like. It's stop it. Like, if you're going to sit there and take your beard off and attach a vagina,
do you know what?
Let him make a joke.
I watched, do you know who Mark Normand is? You know Mark Normand is. I watched a stand-up special of his the other day, and he had a bit that made me fucking howl about a trans person coming up to him after a gig. She wasn't happy. And she was like, you are not funny at all. And he went, well, you're a man. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, I thought that we were just saying the most offensive things that we could to each other. I thought that's what this game was. She was like, no, you don't understand. Nobody thinks that you're funny. She was like, well, I feel funny inside. Yeah. That was a really funny bit that neither of you two thought was funny at all.
Well, I think it was the delivery.
Yeah.
You fucking
I think that was one of them had to be there situations, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it having not seen it live, and I thought it was funny, so it was probably my fault.
But say comedy is like, perspective, isn't it? Like, you
subjective.
Yeah, that's the one. Either way.
Yeah. Do you want to plug anything, Rob Mulholland?
Yeah, just go on my YouTube. Do Rob Reviews Everything a few times a week. I've got like 3 of those a week, and then an extra one on my Patreon for £1 a month.
Any fans of mumble rap will...
Any fans of mumble rap get involved. Playboy Carti's a little bitch. Playboy Carti, there's their fans that are really annoyed at me.
Playboy Carti?
Yeah, he's actually all right. He's not even the worst one, but their fans have been like really fucking angry anyway.
I've never...
Get us on YouTube, follow us social media, whatever. Yeah, no. If you'd like, you'll make the effort to find me. If you
got a podcast as well?
I do, yeah. Like Damn Daniel. It's with Danny McLaughlin and Molly McGuinness and Mubs. It's dead fun every week. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for listening. We are going to get going. If you haven't already, sign up to the Patreon because there's going to be loads of extra content on there.
And when the NHS starts charging people for things that are their own fault, Freddie's going to need the fucking money.
Got a fucking Booper, mate. Although I had a look at Booper. It's expensive.
Yeah. I think I need to start a podcast because, like, if something goes wrong with me again, I'm fucked. Like, my operations cost a bomb. Like...
Do you know what?
I need a Patreon.
And I mean this.
Send me money, please.
I mean this because I met you, because I like you.
Yeah.
I will share a GoFundMe.
Do you know someone? Right, listen. Someone
what a
offered.
hero. Oh, wow.
Genuinely, I was on a live once and someone offered to pay to send me and my kids to Disneyland, right? Because that was one of my things. Like, I made a bucket
Swim
list.
with a dolphin.
No,
it is a bit make-a-wishy, isn't it?
No, it definitely... No, but
Front of the queue, fast pass.
It was just a case
She's not got long left, pal. Get her
No, it was just a case of that's the one thing I wanted for me kids. Like my youngest child doesn't speak; she's autistic.
Oh, okay.
So one of my things was I wanted to hear her speak before like anything happened to me, and I just mentioned, oh, I'd love to take them to like see the magic on the face, and someone messaged me and was like, I'll pay for it, and I said no.
My missus works for Disney. I can hook you up a discount.
Nice one.
Really?
See, it's not what you know, but too, nice one.
What else was on your bucket list? Sorry, we were going to go, but what else was on your bucket list?
I wanted to skydive, which I can't because no one will insure me to do it.
No one will insure you?
Yeah, because obviously, like, if you go to any skydiving place, it's like, what's your medical history? Oh, no.
Shit.
So if as soon as I tell them, it's no, and if I don't tell
Just
them...
need to go abroad somewhere where they don't give a fuck. Just go to a country where there's not like as much like health and safety and roll the dice.
I think it's absolutely mental that they are like, no, because you might die. And
But it's
like,
more, it's a tandem jump,
they still
isn't it?
don't want people dying.
Who wants what fella wants to go up with me, get to the bottom like, oh, fucking hell, she's dead.
and she just
Can you imagine how grim that is, having to unclip a corpse from your fucking chest?
That's not... Imagine if you died, like, at that face as well, like...
Skydive.
Land, like, you're meant to, like, run along a bit when you land, and if they're just dragging in front of you, it's not going to be helpful, is it?
Skydive.
Yeah.
Disney World. Hear your daughter talk. Again, no jokes there.
Real life lemon party.
Yeah.
Do you know what a lemon party is?
Yeah, 3 old men sucking each other's dicks. Yeah. It's the changing rooms,
That's my
isn't it?
bucket list.
What else?
Nice.
Anything else that was on there?
Not like major, just like little things to me. So like me and my friends wanted to do certain things, and I did actually have it wrote down on list. It wasn't big major things. They were the major things that to me I wasn't gonna get. They were the 3 that I knew was not gonna happen, which is why they were always the top of the list. Cause
it must be mad, like going places and being like, might be the last time I do that.
you stop that because you'd never go anywhere.
Yeah.
I could sit there and go, like this is the last place the time I go and see my auntie.
Yeah, you'd never fill up the fridge, would you?
No, it gets it gets to a point where you just like there's nights where I used to have chest pains and I think, oh my, I'm not going to wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And then my eldest
Got that gravel axe that needs eating and that'll never get...
But I had a massive thing of like my kid's going to find me. I never wanted my kids to go to bed because I've got 2 kids. One's 10. Well, she's 11 now. So one's 11 and one's 5. And it was a case of if my 11-year-old found me.
Do you know what?
That was the worst thing I had.
I used to have a similar thing about how I was paranoid about like having a heart attack whilst masturbating.
Very similar thing.
Because that was how
Yeah, do you know what's so relatable? You know what? I never get me vibrators out anymore. Just thinking, fuck, this is a good one, and my chest goes.
Yeah, but if that's how they found you, just with like a fucking rabbit shoved up your vag.
Do you know where my things come from as well?
What?
Taylor's Toys.
Taylor's Toys sponsors.
Send me a PR box
of the. Did he send you?
I got one as well, but we got different things.
What, like a death box, like a death?
It was like
sex toys.
Because people started following me a bit because of like my story, and he was like, "Can you just like plug?" I went, "Why would the dying bird plug the vibrator?"
So what did they send you?
I got this purple wand thing, which was absolutely fucking amazing.
Purple wand.
Yeah, I got bondage tape, which I know you got. I never got a butt plug though. When I'm a little bit fuming, so when Scott watches this, like sort that one.
Okay.
I got.
You like a bit of bum fun.
Yeah.
I think you should have to pay for your own
gonna watch this.
bum tools.
You what?
I think you should have to pay for your own bum tools. It's your own fault that you
listen,
want
it's not the NHS paying for it, it's Scott, so he can pay for it.
Yeah, the butt plug, yeah.
Yeah, I never got one of them. I got like lubes and stuff, and I got a penguin. Oh my God, right. Can we just appreciate the penguin for a minute? Because it's one of the best toys I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Really.
Oh, right. I thought you meant like a little...
No, it's literally, it looks like a penguin. It looks like a penguin, and it even wears a bow tie. Like, if that...
Sorry about this.
Do you know how many blokes don't even bother putting a bow tie on for me?
Yeah, because if you put on a bow tie, no one's going to fuck you.
No, if you wear it right,
happening.
if you wear it right, they will.
Can you imagine?
You look like the nutty professor. Like, there's no way to wear a bow tie and not look like a virgin.
If you're 8 stone piss sweat through and you've got a bow tie on, you're not looking like nutty professor, are you? Let's be honest.
So it's shaped like a penguin.
It's like
looks like a
round,
penguin.
It goes in, and then the top of it's got like a bit like a head. So it looks like a snowman from the back, but it looks like a penguin.
Oh right, so it's not properly penguin features.
No, but it hasn't got
Danny
wings.
DeVito in a Batman film.
It kind of does, yeah. It hasn't got wings now.
Gonna go up.
I will send you a picture of it.
Gonna give a dying woman some pleasure. See.
I will send you a picture of it when I get home, I promise you.
Yes, please do.
It hasn't got wings though. It has got a bow tie.
Cool. Shout out to Taylor's Toys, the penguins and butt plugs and things.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This episode of Pigoted Podcast was sponsored by Taylor's Toys. Now, for OG listeners of the show, you'll know Taylor's Toys. They've been sponsoring us since the beginning. They are a sex toy company that specialise in making high-quality produce, like you grow it. You know, they make good products that don't fall apart after a couple of uses, but they're at decent, reasonable prices as well. You can head over to taylorstoys.co.uk right now, check out the amazing range that they've got on offer, and if you enter the discount code PIGOTED at checkout, you get 20% off and you get free delivery on orders over £25. It is a fantastic thing to do, especially with Valentine's Day just round the corner. Head yourself over to taylorstoys.co.uk and spice some things up in the bedroom. This week's podcast is brought to you by Window World. Window World are the home of rock bottom prices on all of your UPVC windows, doors and conservatories. Right now, they're doing a very special deal where you can get 8 windows and 2 doors for only £2,495. So if you're thinking about getting new windows or doors, if you want to upgrade yourself for 2022, then get yourself down to windowworldupvc.co.uk or give them a call on 0151 531 0056. That's Window World, the home of great quality windows and doors.